Well, in terms of trying to transform their fortunes, Manchester United are definitely backing Ruben Amorim in the transfer market. That's fair to say with that front line. But how significant a change would it be to get in a player like Carlos Baleba, despite the fact, as Darmish has said, that this would be a difficult deal to do?
I think it's almost impossible this summer. We've been speaking to the Brighton chief executive, Paul Barber, today as well. And he made it very clear that Baleba is not going anywhere. He said, we're looking forward to seeing him play for us this season. So I still think United need to bring some more players in before the window closes. Yes, they've done a lot of business across their front line, but they do need, I think, reinforcements in midfield. And
final to Tottenham Hotspur and Bilbao as well. I think most pundits and most experts were saying this is not a one-window fix. This is 2, 3, 4 windows it's going to take before Manchester United can really begin to challenge again. But because the window started so well for them, Matheus Cunha came in really, really early in that window. Bryan Mbeumo, there was lots of talk, and even though it was only sorted out a few weeks ago, there was a knowledge that it's going to take a little bit longer than just this one window. And sometimes, because of the players that Manchester United need to unload, and also the money that they need to generate to be able to replenish this window, it's nigh on impossible to do every single position in one transfer window. Yes, they would love to bring in a midfielder. That's why there is this interest. And one thing I would say about the Baleba interest is because it is out there and because Manchester United might have explored the conditions of a deal, we know how transfers work. Manchester United and other clubs do not go and express an interest in a player blindly. There must be some sort of encouragement somewhere along the line that maybe the player might think, you know what, I might be open to that move. But that is completely separate here to what Brighton's position would be, because even if Carlos Baleba just say he did want to go to Manchester United, Brighton can just say, well, you're not going anywhere. You've got 3 years left on your contract. We've got a year's option. And if we are to let you go, then it's going to be over £100 million. And people will say, well, you can compare that to the Alexander Isak situation. And so why are people saying, well, it's still potentially going to happen to Liverpool? Because we haven't really heard of any disunity or disharmony with regard to Carlos Baleba at Brighton.
No, those are very distinct in that respect. Yeah,
that's the big difference.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because when you look at the amount of money spent, you know, Liverpool have spent almost £300 million. That's without Isak, if it does happen. Chelsea have spent around £250 million. Manchester United up until this point, £214 million. But, you know, they want to be competing, especially given the fact that Liverpool and United are currently on 20 top-flight titles each, and they sense that Liverpool might get back on the perch if this spending continues that they can't keep up with. But on the point of sort of, it's not a one-window fix, Darmish, I mean, Carve, I wonder about this. Harry Maguire said in a recent interview that United were mentally weak in the past. And how much do you think that these new signings and things like, for example, the refreshed training ground might add to a sense of rebirth, renewal at Manchester United to try and change things culturally as well? That sort of wider context piece, I guess.
I think, look, what Manchester United have to do is back Ruben Amorim, which is exactly what they're doing, and give him as much time as possible, because there's been too much chopping and changing of managers, too many managers